Coming up on VetLine, I have errors on my DD214.
You had all that support, finance, personnel, all the stuff. If you needed something updated and fixed, there was an office.
The County Veteran Service Officer is the heart and soul of the veteran community across any community in the States.
Didn't get arrested for 3 years.
That's usually the biggest roadblock we run into is finding qualified medical opinion.
You can't go right from basic training to being a basic training instructor. That would be wild. So,
can you explain how important it is to be accredited in order to do this?
The emphasis can't be loud enough.
would you ever direct veterans to go to like an unaccredited AI-based?
Absolutely not. That would be a no.
Everybody, welcome to VetLine. My name's Adam.
My name's Zach.
And we're here with our good friend Shawn Rivers, who is the Racine County VSO, that's Veteran Services Officer. Almost every county in the U.S. has a VSO, unless you're in a super rural area or, you know, there's some transition going on and like sometimes they'll get connected with multiple counties or a larger region. But for the most part, most counties have their own VSO and they do a whole bunch of things for veterans. We're actually here because I'm going to have Shawn help me with something that I need help with that some of you may also need help with. So I thought we'd go through that process. But first off, Shawn, what does a VSO do?
So the Veteran Service Officer for each county, and to your point, Wisconsin's kind of unique because we actually have a state statute that says we must have a CVSO or County Veteran Service Office in every single county, and all but one of the tribal nations have their own service offices. Okay. So it's really, you've got resources throughout the whole state for these types of benefits. So what our main focus is helping veterans file VA claims and getting VA benefits from the federal level, but also at a state level. So we also assist with not just the federal GI Bill post 9/11 in Montgomery, but also the Wisconsin GI Bill for state benefits. And there's certain qualifying factors that get you eligible for those sort of things. But you reach out to us and we will always make sure you get that connection and make that happen. So that, and then of course we hold outreach events in the community to ensure that people know and veterans know that we're here. Anything from a veteran stand down to, you know, just having a table at an expo, just to make sure people know, veterans know to reach out to us and how to get a hold of their benefits.
If there's a young veteran listening and they want to get involved and help veterans, like what kind of advice would you give them? Like what would they have to do to qualify to be a CVSO to help vets?
Well, to be the CVSO for each county in Wisconsin, you must be a veteran. So meet that standard veteran requirement that you might see on the federal level, which is 90 days of wartime service and 2 years of non-war, or not 2 years of non-wartime service. So they have to meet that basic stat. But if you want to work in a veteran service office, you don't have to be a veteran at all. So assistant or certain veteran claim agents within veteran service offices. I actually have a civilian non-veteran that works for me here in this office.
Nice.
And she's fantastic.
Zach actually used to be VSO himself for like 5 years in this very office.
He was my assistant when I was here. So we're connected that way. How did you get into this field? How did that work for you?
So I was already doing the advocacy piece in the community. Every veteran I'd speak with, if I saw the hat, I'm a veteran. So of course I wanted to claim my benefits and I wanted to share that with anybody I encountered. How do you share it? Now that I was introduced to this office through, well, our predecessor and then through you, that this was a great way to do that. I'm able now to organize these things and go out in the community and make sure that we're known. And I still feel like we need to do a better job. This is why I agreed to do this today. This is another way a great way to reach a huge audience, to make sure that folks know to reach out, not just to our office, but whatever county you're in, reach out to that county office, or at least an accredited claim agent, right? So you got accredited, you get VFW, American Legion, the NACVSO, National Association of County Veteran Service Offices, but also law offices, reminding people that law offices are also accredited. They got to be accredited to do this job.
If you don't know what your benefits are, just when you get out and you get to, you know, wherever it is you're moving to, whether you're moving back home or going to a new place or whatever, check in with your county VSO, because not only are there federal benefits that you need help navigating, but there's also state level benefits. Like he mentioned in Wisconsin, there's a state GI Bill. I think something like 30 states in the country have a state level GI Bill with different, obviously different requirements to access it and whatnot. And they can help you with that. And sometimes you have county level or even local municipality benefits, everything from free fishing licenses and trout stamps to, you know, to your federal level disability benefits. So always check in with your local VSO. They're pros. They're experts. So what I need help with today, I have errors on my DD214. When I wanted to get out of the military, when I was about to separate, I was very much in I'm out of here mode and did not take my DD214 review period, which everybody has before you get out. They send you your DD214. I didn't take it very seriously. I did look at my separation code to make sure that they got it right. They got that wrong. So had I not told them to fix that, it would have been the code they used was somebody who washes out of tech training. And I had like been in for 8 years. It was clearly a mistake. But it was other than honorable. So I was like, I'm glad they got it fixed. But I didn't check the rest of my DD214. You should check your DD214 very, very, very carefully, because if there's an error, it's easier to fix before you get out. Now, if you're like me and you skip that process and we're just like, I'm out of here, it's never going to matter, then you reach out to your buddies who are VSOs and ask them to help. And that's what I'm doing today. I have 2 errors on my DD214. So where do we start? What do you need? And these are things that you can do. If you have errors on your DD214, if you need a change to your character of service, if you believe that that's a mistake, go to your VSO. They're the people who help. All right, what do I do?
So many times veterans drive out for the last time. They leave the base and they leave the whole base behind. You had all that support, finance, personnel, all this. If you needed something updated and fixed, there was an office. You just went to it. So don't feel lost when you go out into the community once you've separated from service or retired, because that's what these offices are here for. And that's what we're going to look at 214. Now that we're on the other side of it and that time's kind of elapsed, you can't go back and correct it with your personnel office at Air Force Base, whichever one you were at when you left. Now let's go ahead and go through the errors and see what we can correct, right?
You have it up there. They can also access all of your records with just your name and
so if you can't access or you lost your DD214, all you got to do is contact your CVSO office. They will be able to contact it for you if you're in that same state. Or if you're not, there's still records. There's a way to request all those records for them. So it's not all you have to have it. If you don't have it, but I don't have it, I can't move on. They will work with you no matter what. So
sometimes to access local benefits, you need to have not just a DD214, but a DD214 certified by either stamped or signed by a VSO on the back. Like I think I had to get a free fishing license. Once, the first time I had to bring a certified copy. So I had to get a VSO to sign it or whatever.
It's discouraging to me when I talk to veterans in the community and they say, well, I've been waiting for I lost my 214, so I'm waiting to file. I'm waiting to get benefits because I've been waiting for my medical records. I've requested them from the archives or whatever. I don't know where this is coming from, that I must have these things before I even engage in a conversation with our office. That doesn't exist. You can come to us with proof of your identity and we can get started, because all we need to know is you are who you are. And we can get started with your at least getting records requested for you. When you file a claim to the VA, they have a thing called a duty to assist. They have to pull your records in order for you to file a claim. Not many litigations in your life will you run into it where the defendant is going to say, oh, and by the way, I have a video of this so I can help you litigate this claim where your kid says they scratched your car. No, this is the VA has to help. They must. So it's a much different process. Way different process. So many people are just held up by waiting for those documents. But in your case, you already have your 214. And I happen to have it.
And you happen to have it there.
So I don't know, for your viewers here and for public consumption, I don't know how much you want to discuss about what's on your 214.
I was just going to put my whole DD214 out, unedited.
We have actually circled your social security numbers. So your home address
highlighted and
here. I still believe you lived there.
The error in my DD214 is what my job was. So I started out under the Greater Wing of Public Affairs, my AFSC, or if you're an Army nerd at MLS, was 3N151M. And then when I got out, had been doing a special duty. I was an 8 Bravo. I was a military training instructor. So when I got out, for some reason, my DD214 said my whole tenure, 7.5 years of active duty, was spent as a military training instructor, which, as any of you know, is impossible. You can't go right from basic training to being a basic training instructor. That would be wild. I would love for my DD214 to reflect my service accurately, Air Force bands, and then being a military training instructor. And then there's one other error. It does not have on my DD214 this lovely commendation medal that I was awarded. So
what was it for?
for just being great, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, it's for my time as a military training instructor. Look, I distinguished myself by meritorious service.
Oh, look at you.
It says he showed up most of the time.
Yeah.
Timely.
Didn't get arrested for 3 years.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Basically,
That's good conduct medal.
Well, and I was in Air Force, that for myself. So
nerds.
He gets it.
we get medals a little easier than you Marines. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we earn ours, so
Yeah.
I get it.
We do too. I mean, we have to
Okay.
book those hotels. Somebody's got to do that.
It's hard.
They don't just do it for you.
Okay.
I mean, most of the time.
It's more complicated
Depends on
for
the team you
Marines
are.
to get awards.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Army, they get ribbons for like anything and everything. You guys get it for being there on time. We got to earn our stuff. Well, yeah, moving on.
Good.
Leaving that there with no substance behind it. So,
Taking a quick 20-second break in the action to talk to you about our incredible sponsors, Tayback Law, the best in the business, the most reliable when it comes to VA disability claims and appeals. They've personally helped me. I am a client, and I highly recommend that if you need some support with your VA disability claims, that you check them out. Brand new website at taybackattorneys.com. Back to it.
so we are going to work on this,
Take it,
and
take it.
I brought all the military records that I could find, and I'm going to just throw him some stuff, and we're going to see how we can get this to get fixed.
Well, for clarity, we joke around a lot, but this is important. This is serious.
It is.
So I have a veteran who's presenting himself with the need for correction on his 214. This isn't as serious as trying to get a bad conduct discharge or even a general honorable discharge upgraded to honorable, which is typically what we have in requests. So this is a little bit, I wouldn't say different, but it's not in that usual lane that we're usually shooting for corrections. Often it's either that or social security numbers incorrect or something like that. So
Which
missing
could complicate filing for
yeah.
federal
date of
benefits
birth.
and-
The date of birth can screw a lot of things up if it's incorrect on a 214. So these are things that we can put in requests for correction. And in this case, it definitely looks, for lack of a better word, a little strange. Hinky,
It looks a
that
little
is
bizarre.
missing MOS, AFSC, or 8, in this particular case, AFSC. What it is, it's going to be a packet that will send to the Board of Correction and Military Records. So this all really starts with what's called the DD Form 149. And so the 149 is a request for correction of military records, right? The form itself is fairly simplistic. It check boxes and fill in the blanks. But really what the meat is what goes along with the packet, right? So by simply saying, got my thing wrong, need fix, send, it's not quite enough. You've brought the required documents and really filing it and doing it all right here on the spot and filling all the blanks, I don't think is really the thrust of what we're trying
Yeah,
to
you don't
convey
need to
your
see us do
audience,
the
right?
paperwork.
Right. But what I think you're trying to convey, it isn't that hard.
No.
It's not hard.
That's why we're here.
I'm just going to hand him the paperwork. They have snacks here too.
So even if you don't have the paperwork, like you said before, still come in if you have nothing. They will still work with you. Any county office, any veteran service officer across the U.S. has a capability to update your DD214 and obviously assist with extra benefits. So Adam is very well prepared than most veterans coming in with everything he has. And that helps expedite the process.
I don't know why. I
Well, we
still
did
have
give him
all
some
this.
prep work ahead of time, so he
Yeah.
kind of knew what we'd be looking for. But just to have that initial meeting and get the ball rolling, for lack of a better way of putting it, just coming in to meet with us, because then we'll make sure you're set up with the correct instructions. What kind of a personal statement do we need from you? Do you need something from an employer to show, hey, I've got good character now, if we're doing a character discharge upgrade? Those sorts of things are super important to this entire process, but you don't have to have all that set up before you come to see us. Come and see us. Just that's the bottom line. Come and see your local accredited representative. We can definitely get things happening.
Real quick, you say see your local accredited representative. Can you explain how important it is to be accredited in order to do this?
The emphasis can't be loud enough. We, as accredited service officers, we go through extensive training. That's at a federal level. This isn't something that we just come up with locally and internally. I'm accredited through the National Association of County Veteran Service Officers, the CVSO. They are the largest accrediting body across the country. That accreditation allows us multiple sub-accreditations, which allows us to access the VA system, the federal VA system. Every county veteran service officer has accreditation through one source or another, whether it's the DAV, VFW, multiple. It doesn't matter which one you're with. Law offices also must be accredited, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Right. In all honesty, we try to avoid sending folks to law offices unless we run into a dead end, or
You need a
if
little more firepower.
they need
but,
some more,
yeah.
they just need a little bit more help them where, or even just to reach out. And that's why I'm glad where we have a partnership with a local law firm. We're able then to reach out to you and we can connect. And sometimes it's just hey, oh, did you think of this avenue? No, that's great. Otherwise, here, you know what? This is something that's going to be a better fit. And we have the conversation with the veteran and we make sure that they understand, hey, we're not washing our hands. We're not saying we don't want to help you, but I think we need to go to the next step here.
So
and that's sometimes where we have to go.
Yeah. When you mean that next step, like, do you mean like, if somebody's constantly denied, right? Your services are free for vets, obviously,
100%.
across the U.S.
Yeah, that's an important point.
This
100%
costs you
free.
zero.
VSOs are totally free.
Yeah, when you do go to law firms, obviously there is a percentage that the VA sets up, whether it's 20 or 30% that we would have to take.
Of back pay granted.
Yes, of the back pay, and the back pay only, that's it. Now, when you say when we hit a roadblock, what is a roadblock to you? Would it be like having to spend extra money on like a medical opinion to support that disability claim, or what does that look like?
That's usually the biggest roadblock we run into is finding qualified medical opinion.
Yes.
But that's not to say still work with us, work with your CVSO, work with your local accredited agent, because we're going to do everything we can to keep you from having to surrender a portion of your back pay. We're going to do and you see, look at this, we're working with a law firm here, and they're nodding their heads.
We usually tell
They're
people,
nodding their
like,
heads.
I tell people to start with a VSO,
Yeah.
unless you have some extraordinarily complicated whatever. When you file your initial claim, I usually tell people do a VSO.
I just recently referred a claim over to you because of the very, very unique, there's a lot of uniqueness with the situation. So, it was
Symbiotic relationship here. Would you ever direct veterans to go to like an unaccredited AI-based?
Absolutely not. That would be a no, because in many cases they take payment regardless of whether you win or lose, where even if you pay, if you win, they still can't, by law, they can't even touch the forms.
Yeah. They just throw your stuff into AI and
Hope for the
barf,
best.
barf out some paperwork, and you file it on your own, and they're like, they take your money, sometimes enduringly, forever.
Have you ever had a veteran come in your office that's worked with somebody unaccredited that may have messed up their claim, or maybe they owe them a lot of money?
100%. Yes. Recently I've had several, and they'll even come to me with a blank form saying they told me to fill this out. Oh, I already wrote them a check. And of course, we're going to help them. We're going to help them. But I can't help but I feel kind of responsible, because that means I didn't reach that veteran.
Yeah.
See how this affects us? Again, our services are free. So we work for the county. That's the only income stream I have, is just I come to work, I get paid, and that's it. We don't make more money for filing. But being here, I'm not making more money, and this is my job. This is what I do. This is part of my outreach. We don't accumulate extra because we're doing more outreach. We get more, makes us busier. That's a lovely thing. That means more veterans are coming to us. If I have more veterans coming to me that say they've gone to a AI based or an outside based, non-accredited based, they don't have the access to this system. They can't get into the VBMS, what's known as VBMS, the Veterans Benefits System. They don't have access to that because they're not accredited.
And most importantly, since they're not accredited, they're not accountable to the VA or any larger governing body, which means if they mess it up, which they often do, you have no recourse aside from the flimsy, predatory contract that they made you sign. So don't do it. Go to these people. They're nice. Look at this guy.
I don't know.
He's a nice guy. Your VSOs are free. Go there. And so, like, is the prevailing advice then, when you retire or separate and go home or move back into wherever it is that you're going to be planting your roots for a little bit, whether you feel like you have something to do or not, go check in with your local VSO. That should be on your list of things to do.
Hopefully you did it as you're separating and do that benefits delivery on separation when you BDD.
Benefits on delivery, smart.
Yeah, if you do it right
Do
upon
this.
separation. So if you're active duty right now listening to this, do a BDD claim. You get that 90 to 180 day window to do that. But if you haven't missed anything. You're okay. You can still file, and you're presumptive to your military separation date up to 12 months from your date of separation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're already back here in Racine or wherever you are, go see that service officer. And if you've missed out on that 1 year from date of separation, go see him anyway, because it's still benefits you. I've had veterans come to me. We're still filing Vietnam War claims. We're still filing Korean War claims. Not too many World War II. We don't see a lot of World War II,
Yeah.
but we're still trying to get benefits even for veterans that have been out of service for over 50 years. So,
Or survivor benefits for spouses
and
of veterans
survivors.
who have passed away.
and those are all the services we do. I'm super passionate about this. I could totally go on for hours just talking about this, and Zach knows that.
I mean, separate from the disability claims and all that stuff we're talking about, if you're a veteran struggling with, mental health services, food, housing, literally anything, the County Veteran Service Officer is the heart and soul of the veteran community across any community in the states, across the U.S. So connect with them. They will help you get to that next step. Even if you don't want to file a disability claim, they'll help you get food or whatever it is you need. So.
Right on.
Get you the
Well,
right
thank you,
direction.
Shawn.